Hello, Colas, and welcome back to Viva Barca. Welcome to the home of everything Barcelona, where we are going to be discussing on the very latest. We start with new right back Hector Bellerin, of course, who opens up on deadline day return to Barca by saying that it's a homecoming. We are going to be discussing on what the player have to say as we progress. Then, secondly, talking about this other report claiming that Barcelona had two offers rejected for this 18-year-old Brazilian Busquets by name Andrey Santos, who plays for Vasco da Gama. We are also going to be discussing on that. So guys, as we get right into it, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please make sure to hit the subscribe button, give the video a like, and please watch it right up to the very end. Barcelona's capture of Hector Bellerin on deadline day raised many eyebrows, especially after the club opted to offload seasonal Dest out on a loan deal. Bellerin, who had started his career at La Masia, voiced his delight after sealing his return to Camp Nou. He also stated his objective for the season ahead and offered insight into his past opportunities to join Barcelona. He said, "It's one of these things that you feel you have the opportunity to experience," said Bellerin after finalizing his move to Barca. He continued by saying, "I have had the opportunity before, but for one thing or another, it hasn't happened. It's been one of the years I least expected to come back here, but for me, it's a homecoming, and I'm very excited," he said. Bellerin is coming on the back of an 11-year spell at Arsenal that saw him make 239 appearances there for the club. From being hailed as one of the best right backs in Europe to becoming a fringe player under Mikel Arteta, his career has been full of ups and downs. Speaking about his spell at Arsenal, Bellerin said, "I cannot compare the 16-year-old boy who left here with a 27-year-old who returns. I am very proud and grateful to the people I have met in these 11 years that I have been away, and to those who have made me the person that I am today, a person with very different ambitions and with a lot of desire and the same enthusiasm." Bellerin joins FC Barcelona on a free transfer from Arsenal. The defender did have a contract at the Emirates, but the club offered him a letter of freedom to ease his departure, despite the player enjoying a rather decent loan spell at Real Betis. He said, "Last year, I lived more or less the same. I knew what I had to do during the summer. I thought that I could even stay at Arsenal to finish my contract, but in the end, the outcome was very nice," Bellerin said, who will be expected to hit the ground running due to his vast experience at the highest level of football. Many expect the Spaniard to feature in the upcoming game against Sevilla, although fitness might be an issue, especially given his lack of game time at Arsenal. So those are the words from Hector Bellerin as he completes his move to FC Barcelona. Great words there from him. Of course, he will sign on deadline day. Actually, he was the third choice for Xavi, and after the first two choices, Joan Foyt and Thomas Meunier, were unavailable, Barca had no choice on the deadline day but to go for their third choice, Hector Bellerin. So I just pray that this should be a blessing in disguise. You know, if he comes and plays very well and be a reliable person that Xavi likes, then it will be something good. It will be something good. You know, he's no stranger to Barca. He left the La Masia when he was just 16 back in 2011, going to Arsenal, and where he had his best years in his career. So he have never been counted again by the Arsenal coach Mikel Arteta, despite his very good loan spell at Real Betis last season. So we hope that he continues to bring in the best that he can at the right back. And it was so important for Barca to get a natural right back. We know Sergio Dest left for AC Milan. So it was imperative for Barca to at least get one new right back at the deadline day. So finally Barca did that. So let's see how he performs. The game against Sevilla, I don't know if he will play, but we all know that he's registered. Marcos Alonso as well. All of them are registered, because Aubameyang leaving and also Dest leaving is the way for those guys to be easily registered. So let's see how it's going to look like. Bellerin, I'm so optimistic that he will do well. He's a vastly experienced right back, so I don't see no reason why we should be scared about his performances. The fact that Arteta refused to count on him this season does not mean he's not good enough, because we saw his exploit at Real Betis last time out. I mean, in the loan spell, he was a very successful loan spell, and came as a surprise that the Arsenal boss Arteta did not even count on him one bit. Arteta prefers to use his young players, so it is what it is. He came as a free agent. That's even one of the good things. So he will be an important player for Xavi, no doubt. We hope that he continues to impress. Then on to the next story of discussion. It is safe to say that Barcelona have found it seemingly impossible to find a rightful successor to Sergio Busquets' throne over the years, considering his status as arguably the greatest defensive midfielder of all time, as the 34-year-old's current contract is set to expire in the summer of 2023. A fresh revelation suggests that the club might have set the sights on a prospect that could well fit in with the veteran's boat next season. According to a report from Goal, Xavi's side have already had 2 bids turned down for Vasco da Gama wonderkid Andrey Santos. Further details suggest that the club would be willing to negotiate a potential transfer for their prized asset for around 35 million euros, especially because they are aware that he would be tempted by the prospect of playing in Europe. The Catalan heavyweights face stiff competition for the 18-year-old signature, with the likes of Manchester City, Paris Saint-Germain, Newcastle United, and Everton all interested in his coup. The teenage sensation is often compared to the legendary Busquets for his metronomic passing, press resistance, and astute defensive awareness. Santos is also known to possess an engine that allows him to function as a box-to-box midfielder and cause mayhem with his excellent ball-carrying abilities. The Brazilian also has an additional feather to his cap, which perhaps separates him from the World Cup winner due to being renowned as somewhat of a threat in the final third. After all, the youngster scored an impressive 5 goals in his first 25 appearances for Vasco da Gama senior team. While only time will tell whether a deal comes to fruition, the arrival of Andrey Santos could potentially allow Barcelona to plan for the future with a certified Sergio Busquets replacement in place. Busquets have been a long-time servant to this club, and it is but natural that, Barcelona start seeing how to replace him. We have been talking about players like Frenkie de Jong, who is a DM by trade, but it seems as though Barca don't fancy Frenkie de Jong to be that perfect replacement for Busquets, and I do understand why. They have totally different styles of play. Barca are looking for likes-for-like replacement players who have the Busquets kind of characteristics, and that is why we are seeing Barca not even too contemplating of using Busquets in that role all the time. So they are talking about this guy Andrey Santos, who plays for Vasco da Gama in Brazil, a very good defensive midfielder, and Barca have seen the kind of qualities that Busquets possesses. They still see it in this young guy, and they are saying that the player is strongly linked to the club. So they are saying that Barcelona had 2 offers rejected for the 18-year-old during this summer. So let's see if Barca will stand a chance, because they're saying that Man City and Paris Saint-Germain are also strongly interested. So there's stiff competition for him. So it would be an easy thing. Barca have been talking about Ruben Neves of Wolverhampton Wanderers as well as a potential replacement for Busquets in the near future, but nothing concrete have been spoken about that. So let's see what Barca decides at the end. So guys, with that, we have come to an end of this episode. Thanks a lot for watching. Until next time, bye bye.